Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. We're going to open up this segment to all of the Bravehearts, the Urbanites, and the Coach Mad Hatters that serve as Mr. Romantic. And for those that are attached to Mr. Romantic, get prepared, baby, because it's time for you to rush over. Have you ever listened to the song? Like, really, honestly became one with this song. One of my most favorite artists on this whole planet, inside this entire realm, is this one right here. So before we get in copyright trouble, let's just listen for a moment. Ah, the phone just won't suffice. I want more. My cup runneth over. Honey, let me tell you something. I've been thinking about Mr. Romantic all morning. I'm going to link this song right here in the description notes so that you may have a moment with it, especially if you meet the criteria of being Mr. Romantic or his divine counterpart. I'm going to entitle this small snippet as the keynotes to the introduction to my Coach Mad Hatter's Mr. Romantic series. And I'm not going to hold you long. I'm hoping that by the time you run into this session, that you will have already sat with the introductions. And even though I rambled, come on, I'm the Mad Hatter. That's what happens. Hopefully, you were able to pull from it what I intended for you to. And if not, there is a handful of supportive evidence that's inside the description notes of the introduction for you to get a well rounded idea of where we're going with this. But remember, I'm the Mad Hatter, so there's no telling. So, my advice to you is to suspend your judgments, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. Shout out to Optimus Prime. So, here, let's go over the keynotes real quick. Um, and I'm honestly just popping in. So I have to stay mindful not to become long-winded because, yeah, I'll get to talking now and we'll have us a tea party. Okay, so keynote number one. This series is an honorarium to those that touch the hearts as an artist, a musician, a poetic justice, a grapevine griot, and or an urban genius and or alchemist. I believe in the introduction I tapped just the tip of the iceberg of whom I consider an urban alchemist to be, as well as who I consider an urbanite, a braveheart, or Coach Mad Hatter. And if I did not, trust and believe, before this series is over, we're going to dive deep into those characteristics, those archetypes, those original prototypes, if you will, of personality and emotionality, the delightful divine blend of personality and emotionality, all housed up in one being, which makes them multi personal. They have many hues to their being. And to be in romance with one of these beings, you have to remain flexible. And trust me when I say that's been one of the more harder challenges of my life. When you stand before a warrior in romance, it's not an easy task. You want to talk about Bonnie and Clyde brought to life? So keynote number two. the individuation of the I was about to say indivisible. The individuation of the individual, the unique road to the being coming in harmony with its soul. Just that alone, the individuation process of an individual is one thing. But to be in love and in romance with that highly unique being is something totally different. And then when you get two folks that are on their road to blossoming their unique individuation, those energies combined, that's the thing of legend. That's the thing of astro ambiance. That's the thing that we ought to be living to celebrate. Those ought to be our true celebrities. And that's not to take away from Hollywood or mainstream celebrities, because there are some that are artists first, and then the nation or the globe celebrates them. And quite honestly, those are the ones that I am truly attracted to. Those that get into celebrityism just for the fame and fuckery, my soul automatically, yeah, dismisses them. And that's not to say that Mr. Romantic or his divine counterpart strives to be in some type of celebratory light that deems them famous or infamous, if you will. But it is to say that we are going to begin celebrating those that have those tendencies, that are also in the trenches with us, because they are there. Those that cultivate the grapevine with us, because they are surely there. Those that get up every morning and have the call of duty to share their walks of discovery, to highlight the others that are on this walk of discovery, that feel the need to enlighten those that walk with them, those that study with them, those that dream with them, those that produce the nectar of the muses, those that sit with the muses, those that transcribe for the muses, especially those that are local, those that you honestly can share area code with, those that you can just take a nice 15-minute walk and there they are grinding to give the people what they want. Shout out to the Bobo session. That's the way things are done. That's the way love happens. That's the way love goes. So, keynote number 3, mastery of the artist's intentions. Now, out here in the world, it is often said that one ought to be responsible for the results. I hear folks, I was about to say you hear folks, but I do too. I hear folks to say, well, I ain't worried about your intentions because this is the way that it came over. And I beg to differ. We can only be responsible for the intent. There should be no malice in the palace. Shout out to Ross Ben. There should be no malice in the palace. So from the seedling from which it was birthed, that's what we're responsible for. And that's what we need to maintain and hold on to. Don't allow the crankiness of mainstream to make you figure like you are in any control of the outcome, because you're not. You can have good intentions, an adequate plan, and it still turns out something totally different. And that's how you know that that was divine. It was meant to be, whether it brought conflict or complement or a beautiful blend of both, because some things are needed. You don't mean to be the bad guy, but that's where you ended up in the story. Then that's where you were supposed to be in the story. Because there are other karmic debts that are being rendered and reconciled that we have no clue about. And so, yes, the divine used you to be the one to do whatever it is that you were supposed to do. And trust and believe when I tell you that even my walk with my Mr. Romantic, I have been completely intimidated and intrigued with all at the same fucking time, not knowing what the fuck to do with it, to the point where I literally dropped it many times like a fucking hot potato, too intimidated by it, wasn't sure what the fuck. And I still don't know. World can come crashing down in a matter of seconds, but I signed up for this. So if it does crash and burn, I signed up to experience the crash and burn. Somewhere in it, the phoenix will rise out of the ashes of whatever it may be. It's called the individuation process, and you can't control that. And I'm learning that. I am in the front row of this particular class. It's a specialty class in emotionality into the wild unknown. I'm in the front row seat. And seeing as that I kind of like the scholarly shit, I'm always in the front row. Besides, I wear glasses. I don't like to strain my eyes. So more than most often, if I am attending class, I'm usually one of the ones that are there 5, 10, 15 minutes early because I like a front row seat. I like to look the professor in the eyes. So keynote number 4, we are dealing in the realm of anti-mass appeal. When you're in romance with a warrior, when you're in romance with a brave heart, an urbanite, or even a fucking Coach Mad Hatter, let me tell you, when you're in romance with one of these elite creatures of the third dimension, you cannot be caught up in the appeal of the masses. Because that type of romantic counterpart demands certain moments where it's just undivided attention, just you and them, you and him, you and her, where you have to have the moments that are dedicated just to the two of you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Hey, just the two of us. Where they set out to they become founders of their own signatures of lifetime passionate projects. They become the CEOs of their dreams, their combined dreams, because one counterpart has a signature, the other counterpart has a signature, and in their individual senses, they are sovereign on their own. When they combine, baby, as I've said before, that's the shit the legends are made out of. I love power couples. I love power couples. Now, interestingly enough, on my road from my south node to my north node, I've only had twice the pleasure of being in a true, authentic power coupling. And even as my mind rolled back to those moments when I was that girl, yeah, I was fucking that girl. Not, oh, that sound, no, I wasn't fucking that girl, but I was that girl. Fucking A. I was that girl. It's amazing with the confidence, the boost, the additives, the influx of unique confidence that can come from the guy or the girl when they are in union with a divine counterpart, when they step into that realm of pro personal power coupling. So, keynote number 5, stay tuned for your awareness to be uplifted, specifically uplifted in the realm of complementary with an E compliments, the compliments that complete you when they are adjacent to a romance that withstands the test of time. That type of union that only renders you highly constructive critique. Not that bam ass shit to try to run you through the gutter or bring you down. It's one thing to have a difference in opinion. It's even another thing to share those opinions in anger. It's yet even another thing to deal with conflict from opposing sides inside of a love union. What is totally unacceptable is words being used as a weapon, words being used to cut so deep that it takes years to recover from. That's unnecessary to me. And if I got to call you out your name in anger, I am so not the one you need to be around. And I'll flip it. If I got to call you out of your name in anger, I need not be in your presence. There's so many levels to this thing called being held accountable. And further explanation for better understanding goes with the territory. So I can explain myself. And even in the introductory, the passage that I read from Bob Marley, I can even raise my fucking voice and be upset about it. But as long as I stick to the situation, as long as I stick to the point, then you understand that I am upset about the point. I'm not here to dagger your heart. No one should ever be in union with somebody who's okay with daggering their heart. Me and my best friend talk all the time about the safe places to park your heart. And we truly come up with this saying about tender situations. Because, of course, there's a spectrum when we're talking about the energies that can ebb and flow inside of situations and circumstances, dealing with people, places, and things. That tender shit. That tender shit should be held with the utmost respectful reciprocity and care. You dealing with somebody that can't step into that realm, you better get to stepping. And I say that with no malice. It's honest truth we talking about right here. Because regardless, at the end of the day, at some point, I loved you. Probably right now, fucking love you. But that does not excuse me holding respect. Your love make me crazy. Okay, be the fuck crazy. Ain't nobody got nothing against you being crazy. Respect can fit in there with crazy. Honor can fit in there with crazy. So we're tapping into those compliments that complete. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to like what you have to say to me. But if somewhere in there my intuition can rock with what it is you're saying, then I need to remain present. Even if I disagree with you, I still need to remain present to say, well, you know what? Okay, I agree with this part, but can I add a little something to this part? And whoever it is that's receiving the complimentary critique say, okay, well, check this out. This, and this happened. So maybe you might be a little blurred on that. You're right about that. Like, oh no, okay, you're right about that. But let me add a little something to this. And then the one that's providing the complimentary critique actually be able to sit back and receive the update. Get the new revised memo on some shit. Because things with folks change every single day, every single moment, within every single minute, second, millisecond. Things are changing, especially on the inside. So if you did something in this mindset and then now your mindset has changed, it's like, okay, rectify that, especially if it's somebody you're in romance with, and allow the safe space for people to grow and change and expand. I honestly have no patience for those that are inside romantic union that does not allow space for their warrior to change and expand or contract. Remember, we are pulsating inside our energies that we hardly even give way to know is right there with us. Which takes me into the next keynote: flexibility of change of heart and mind, the rites of passage overnight. I talk a lot about night vision, which means that vision when you go deep into the subconscious of either relationship with self or relationship with others. Then, when you have this thing called romance in between you, you both really truly need to be companions in night vision. Walk your valleys together. But without the trust and bond of understanding that that is safe space, you're not going to get far. You could barely get far without stubbing your toe when you're walking by yourself in the dark. And so I'm going to close out this session, the keynotes for the introduction for the Mr. Romantic series as uh, hmm, I can't grab on to no words. Wow. Okay. So that means let me just let me slow down. Because when I say I'm rocking with a bundle of energy right now, and I know I'm talking fast, but hey, it is what it is. I am honestly in this moment. But I'm going to slow down and untense my shoulders. And it's incredible because my feathers aren't ruffled. Okay. So, this mindset that mainstream is now calling the rulers versus the ruled. So we're now right in the midst, in the eye of a psychological rebirth. We're inside the urban romance and renaissance. Like if we were collectively a storybook, this is the moment when it gets good. This is the moment when all the main characters are facing off with this conflict and they have to decide whether they're going to go it alone or they're going to go it together. And so the epiphany blings, bling. And it's like, you know what? I fucking love you. So guess what? Suit the fuck up because we going in. And then so everybody's like, yay! Go get him, go get him, go get him. That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. And so all of the pro couples, like they huddle up and they say, all right, what's the game plan? And so then all of the cardinals be like, okay, well, I've been thinking about this. And the other one will be like, yeah, so from this angle, I've been thinking about this. And everybody like, we ain't think about it that way. And then so everybody get to contemplating. And then the fixers come in and the mutables come in and it's just like, okay, da 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 da, everybody miraculously get they cape on, like, yeah, and the cape just starts blowing in the wind. You have no idea where the wind is coming from. It's actually the energy. It's the energy that's permeating, and everybody starts to do that superhero strut, and the theme music from Shaft starts to play. So I digress. If you are a divine counterpart of a Mr. Romantic and you stumble upon this here, buckle up. Buckle up and get ready because you too are on an adventure to slay that which is considered social conditioning, to slay that which is considered generational curses, to slay that which is called the lopsided ass narrative that says your urbanite, your brave heart, your Coach Mad Hatter is not worthy of its place in this here society right now, right here, right now, right here, right now. Bullshit. I call bullshit. There is a place. There is a place. It's just because everybody don't understand your Mr. Romantic does not mean that he does not have his own sovereign square to stand upon. All right, folks. If you could see me, you could see that my hands are clasped together over my heart, and I say thank you so much for hanging with me. And until next time, I wish you well.